Hey, greetings! Welcome back to Sean's Irish Whiskey Shelf, coming to you from the heart of the United States out here in the Midwest. Hey, now what I have for you this evening is one Irish whiskey that's kind of common, easy to find. Not so easy where I live, but other places it's not very difficult to find. The other one that I have is really difficult to find, if you can find it at all, and I'm super excited to try it. So let's get started. First up, I have the Tyrconnell. Now, this is a single malt whiskey, and it is, I should have looked at both of these before I got started, and I apologize. This is 43% alcohol, so that's going to make that 86 proof. Now, the Tyrconnell is named after a racehorse of the same name, Tyrconnell. Back in 1876, Tyrconnell was in a race that he was not favored to win at all, and he did. He beat the whole rest of the field, and there was a distiller in the stands by the name of A.A. Watt, who was just so pleased with the results that he decided to make a whiskey in honor of Tyrconnell. So this was supposed to be a one-time whiskey, but it turned out to be one of Watts's most favorite whiskeys. Everybody loved it, so he kept making it. And what was supposed to be a single in honor of kind of Irish whiskey became a staple. Today, the Tyrconnell is owned by Kilbeggan, but the whiskey actually doesn't come from Kilbeggan. It comes from Cooley, the Cooley distilleries. And if you've never heard of Cooley, they're owned by Beam Suntory, who also owns Kilbeggan. I'm sure you've heard of Beam Suntory. They are a big player in the alcohol market. So Beam Suntory owns Tyrconnell because that's owned by Kilbeggan, which is owned by Beam Suntory, who also controls the whiskey coming out of Cooley. So basically this is a Beam Suntory whiskey by any other name. Single malt. This is matured in ex-bourbon casks. So remember, when we're dealing with a single malt, it should have kind of a fruitiness in general. It should have a bit of a fruity kind of taste to it. And let me see, there was one other thing I wanted to check here. Oh, that's right. This is double distilled. So most of the time when we do whiskey here on the channel, we talk about whiskey that's triple distilled. This is not. The Tyrconnell is only double distilled. And they do that because they feel that it brings out more of the real body of that whiskey, more of the true taste of the distillates. So not triple distilled like you normally find. Almost, I would guess, just about everything back here on my shelves is triple distilled. This is not. This is only double distilled. So let's give it a shot and see what it's like. Single malt isn't usually my palate, but you know, it's not bad. So let's try it. All right. I will say that it definitely has the single malt taste. Maybe because it's only double distilled, it's got a little bit more body to it, I think. Because it doesn't taste like my typical single malt reaction that I get. That's really not bad. I can put aside that little bit of single malt taste for how this really sits overall. They talk about, let's see, it's done in ex-bourbon casks, hints of citrus, honey, and vanilla. Again, blue-collar palate. I don't know if there's citrus, honey, and vanilla. I just know it tastes good. Got a little bit of maybe fruity taste to it. But really and honestly, folks, it's not going to replace a Tullamore Dew in my book. It's not going to replace Roe & Co. But could I drink it every day? I probably could, because I think that malt taste is maybe not quite so prevalent because it was only double distilled, so you get a little bit more of the raw distillates in there. So that's really not bad. Yeah, I'm glad I'm adding that to my shelf. And remember, I'd love to add you as a subscriber. If you haven't already subscribed, take a second. Subscribe to the channel. Takes you just a couple of clicks to subscribe. Give a thumbs up if you like it. That way, you don't miss any of my videos. And, try to do one a week. So I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And if you like what you see, please click the like button. Tell your friends. If you have any friends who enjoy whiskey, especially Irish whiskey, share with them, okay? I'd love to have more folks check this out. All right, now, this is a bottle of whiskey that I came across. My German is not real good, so we're going to try it here. Sonderabfüllung 2020. Hope I got that right. Sonderabfüllung. Sonderabfüllung 2020. Irish single cask whiskey. All right. Back in November of 2020, in Germany, there was an Irish whiskey weekend. They were able to get 228, that's it, 228 bottles of this Irish whiskey. I have bottle number 17 of 228. This is non-chill filtered. This is matured in two types of casks. First, it goes through a virgin oak cask for 1.5 years. Then it spends 2 years in what's called an STR Bordeaux wine barrel, which is shaved, toasted, recharred. And apparently the wood is really, really thick on this cask, so it tends to develop more flavor. The really interesting thing about this bottle of whiskey is the strength. We're looking at 63.9% ABV, which, real quick math in my head, that runs out to 127.8 proof. So this has definitely got some kick to it, most likely. So very difficult to find, if you can find it at all. And like I said, it was bottled in honor of the very first Irish whiskey weekend that was held in Germany. And let's see what this tastes like. I'm really excited to try this one. Yeah, you can already smell the alcohol. And remember, this is a single grain. I should mention that before I try it. So we should get a little more sweetness. Where this is more fruity, this should have a little bit more sweetness to it. But let's see. Wow. Oh, yeah. All right. First thing I taste right off the bat is that char. Again, my palate isn't going to be able to discern all the different things, but I definitely taste the char in that. So if you like that kind of char taste, and you tend to get that more in a bourbon than you do an Irish whiskey. It kind of reminds me a little bit of bourbon with that taste. So definitely get that right off the bat. Is it as strong as I expected for 127.8? Not really. I mean, yeah, okay, it's got a little bit of alcohol burn to it, but I was expecting worse, I think. Yeah, I don't think it was nearly as bad as I thought it would be. No, it really isn't. The char taste is very, to me anyway, the char taste is very upfront, very noticeable. But I've had other whiskeys where the burn is worse than this, way worse than this. So, yeah, this isn't too bad. Anybody that got a bottle of this at the Irish Whiskey Weekend in 2020, I think, got a pretty good whiskey. But remember, folks, everything I do here, your palate is going to be for you. Mine is for me, obviously. I've talked to some people who love peated whiskey. The peatier, the better. More power to you. That's not me. So everyone's palate is set for them individually. I hope that what I'm doing for you here is giving you my impressions, and then you can take that and kind of see where you fit in with what I like. And maybe that'll help you make a decision about something you see on a shelf and want to buy. So, anyway, that is all I have for you this evening. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these. You can leave a comment on YouTube. You can leave a comment on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. I answer my comments. Might take me a couple of days, depending on how busy things are, but I do always try to get back to all of my comments. And I'd love to know what you're drinking. I'd love to know what you think about some of the whiskeys I've had on the channel. You know, how does it compare with what I've done? So drop me a line. Let me know. Next week. So I think next week, unless something changes, I think we're going to pull down Middleton Very Rare 2022 again. Because as I said on last week's video, it really wasn't a fair comparison. That was a blend, and I put it up against two single pot stills from Middleton. And that wasn't really a fair comparison. So we're going to take Middleton Very Rare, and I don't think it's going to be a very, very fair comparison, but we'll try it against another Middleton blend. This would be Jameson 18. Jameson comes from Middleton also, and it's a higher priced whiskey. So we'll give those two a shot head to head and see what we think, and try to give a little bit fairer shake, if you will. So until we meet again, I hope you enjoy your Irish whiskey. Any reason to enjoy some Irish whiskey is a good reason, but please remember to do it responsibly so you can be here next week when we try some more. And until then, I want you to be well and be safe. So that's all I have for you tonight. Cilantro. Bye now.